How did your parents invade your privacy? My parents demanded that all 4 of us children sleep in their king-sized bed every single night until we got married, because my father believed that families who slept separately grew apart and became selfish monsters incapable of real love. My father controlled every aspect of our lives through forced physical proximity and complete elimination of privacy. He removed all doors except the front door, including from bathrooms. My whole life, we'd all slept in that one bed, and he monitored our breathing patterns at night and would wake us if we rolled too far away from the family cluster. We had to shower with a buddy to maintain family closeness and use the toilet out in the open where everyone could see. By the time I was 13, I'd figured out that other families didn't live like this, so I asked for my own bed. That's when my father finally spelled out the rule that he'd always just assumed we knew. He told us his theory about sleep proximity creating permanent psychological bonds. He said every night apart weakens the family unit, and children who sleep alone learn to love themselves more than their blood. He showed us articles about serial killers who had their own bedrooms as children and said that was proof that physical separation created psychopaths. He said the fact that I was even asking for my own bed was concerning and required immediate action. From now on, I would need to be in physical contact with at least 2 family members throughout the entire night so that I didn't turn into a serial killer. Our sleeping arrangement got even more controlled after that. My father would arrange us in specific positions with the youngest closest to my mother and older children on the outer edges, measuring gaps with a ruler to ensure everyone was as close as physically possible. When my older brother started getting physically aroused during sleep, my father congratulated him on becoming a man, while the rest of us lay as still as we possibly could, trying not to brush against him. My sister got her period in the bed one night and we all woke up with blood on us while she sobbed in humiliation. Dad slapped her and told her she should be grateful that her whole family was here to share the moment with her. Friends couldn't understand why we were exhausted constantly or why we flinched when anyone mentioned sleepovers or bedtime. My father would conduct midnight connection checks where he'd quiz us about each family member's breathing patterns to ensure we were staying bonded even while unconscious. Dating was obviously impossible because my father said spending time in bed with someone besides a family member would contaminate our bond. We constantly had to lie to our friends about why we couldn't ever spend a night away from home or have anyone visit our weird doorless house with one bed. When I got accepted to college 5 hours away, I thought I'd finally escape the communal bed, but my father had other plans. He announced the whole family would relocate so we could maintain our sleeping arrangement. That's when I snapped and told them I'd been secretly saving money from tutoring jobs and had already paid for a single dorm room that I would be living in alone. My father grabbed my wrist and said, "You'd rather sleep surrounded by strangers than the people who created you?" I pulled away and told him that normal families don't share beds with their adult children and that what he was doing was sick. My mother started wailing about how I was destroying our family bonds, but I packed what I could carry and left for campus early, spending 2 weeks sleeping in my car in the parking lot until the dorms opened. My parents retaliated by putting the entire family into a van and parking outside my dorm, demanding I let them all into my twin bed so we could fulfill our sleep obligation. They told campus security they were homeless and needed to stay close to their daughter for safety, gaining sympathy while stalking me. When I refused to let them in, they started sleeping in a pile on the floor outside my dorm room door, blocking other students and telling everyone I was a selfish child who abandoned my loving family. My father would slip notes under my door with diagrams showing how he could fit us all into my twin bed and calculations of how many bonding hours I'd lost. After a week, my father tried to physically drag me from my dorm room to the van in front of 30 witnesses, screaming about the 20,000 hours of family bonding I'd stolen from them. Campus police arrested him for assault and discovered his detailed logs of our sleeping positions dating back 15 years, including temperature readings and proximity measurements he'd taken of his children's bodies every night. To say they were disturbed is an understatement. My siblings were immediately placed in protective custody, and I was finally free.